Oh, I am Snuffanybody, and I'm here to do a very good special snuff review for you. I will be doing a review of Sir Walter's Havana Toast, but I'm doing it with a special guest. It's Paul Shalbetter.
This is your Uncle Squinty coming to you from the dank basement with an open tin of Sir Walter Scott's Havana Toast in front of me. Snuffanybody and I are going to compare, contrast, argue, piss and moan, bitch, complain, describe, and criticize.
Good. But first we're going to do a little thing about having a look at the snuff. So, let's do that. Okay, this is what the snuff looks like. It is light brown, very uniform in its color. It is finely milled. And in the Sir Walter's line, it's very finely milled, as you would expect with a toast. It is a bit darker than the high-dried toast. The moisture level is below medium. It's kind of dry, but as you can see, it's still kind of fluffy. It will almost pearl, but it's kind of clumping and in a non-oily way. This is not a very difficult sniff, but it's not an easy sniff, and it's not a damn hard one, but you need a wee bit of technique not to fuck this one up.
Well, one of the things I think that happens when you sniff the Havana Toast from Sir Walter Scott's is that from the cigar leaf, there's an initial burn in the nose, which sort of gives you a little bit of a reflex, and it makes it a little bit harder to take. That initial slap of cigar leaf when you first take the snuff into your nose can make you sneeze.
Aye, I do agree. So, let's see how this one works in the nose. Okay, that was what the snuff looks like, and now to the interesting bit. Let's do the tin note. Well, what first comes to me here is a very subtle, spicy tobacco note. There is a sweet, nutty bread note to it that I would expect in a good toast. And then I pick up something licoricey, and it's not in licorice root, aniseed, or fennel. It's something darker and spicier than that, and I am thinking that comes from the cigar wrapper.
Yeah, I'm almost getting a chicory sort of edge to it.
Aye.
And yes, what I think you're smelling is probably the Maduro wrapper.
Aye.
It's a darker. Now, there's not a lot of that in here, but there's enough. It doesn't, thankfully, obscure what I would characterize as grainy notes, toasted grain. To me, this reminds me a lot of a multi-grain bread that has been lightly toasted at the very base of it. And then you got that piquancy, that little of the Maduro leaf on top of all of that. I'm not getting the licorice quite as much as you are, but I'm getting something just a little edgy and a little bitter.
Yes, but here we must all remember that Sir Walter is an artisan, and he does his batches in 5-kilo batches, and even very controlled tobacco will have different taste notes to it, and it is, unless you are very industrialized about it, it's impossible to copy a process 100% each time. But I can hear the snuffs are very, very similar. So, okay, let's grab a pinch, Paul.
Yeah, I've already got mine warming between my thumb and my forefinger.
Aye.
But I think once it's warmed, I'm going to salt it out on a boxcar.
Okay.
My left thumbnail.
I'm gonna do the classic pinch method for me, and I'm just gonna prime my nose a wee bit with this snuff because it is a fine dry one, and at least I've had bad experiences with it. Oh, that was very good. So, the true pinch. Salute, my friend.
Cheers. Warming it and then taking it off the thumbnail really lets it blossom in your nose, and the nicotine is much more perceptible. I did a couple of pinches of this before we started the review, and taking it off the thumbnail, it just lets it spread out over the surface of the inside of your nose. It's fantastic.
Okay. Yes, it is a beautiful snuff. And it's one of them snuffs that has a very instant nicotine kick to it. And it is not a little one.
No.
On a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is nothing and 10 is call the nurse, I'm rating this 7 and a bit.
Right, that's right where I was, right at 7.
7 and a bit. And it just comes just straight on. But the scent of this is, it's bready, it's kind of roasted grain. There is a very subtle leather to it. I'm still getting this very spicy cigar leaf licorice thing to it, but in the nose it's not so much pronounced licorice. It's more a very spicy, earthy scent that I get.
Once the cigar leaf sort of backs off a little bit, which it will after about 2 minutes in the nose, the cigar leaf, the piquancy goes away.
Yes.
And you are left with that toasted grain and something that smells like when you tear open a fresh pack of cigarettes.
Oh, aye.
It's a lovely, lovely scent. Again, I'm not getting the licorice scent that you're getting, but I am getting something a little edgy, a little bitter, but that's sort of subsiding with the cigar leaf.
Yes.
A lot of good grain underneath, and boy, that nicotine, I'm getting a pulse in my nose, Alex.
Yes, me too. And one of the things I've noticed with the Havana toast is that there is basically no forward drip to it at all. But there is a very instant back drip. 10-15 seconds into the insufflation, I get just a tiny wet back drip. And the back drip is just, it's spicy and a wee bit peppery, but very, very pleasant. It doesn't irritate the back of your throat.
And there's not much of it, Alex.
No, there's not much.
Just a little tiny bit of back drip, but it's super pleasant.
Yes, it is.
How would you rate this on the famous Squinty scale, where 1 is disgusting and 5 is fantastic?
When I'm rating this, in comparison to all snuffs out there, I'm gonna give this 4.8, maybe 5 out of 5. If I'm comparing it to Sir Walter's line, it's still bloody well up there. It's 4.5. It's a super good toast. It's
Alex, I was just going to ask, compare it not with the rest of Sir Walter Scott's line, but if you compare it with Lundy Foot plus other toasts, high dry toasts, where do you put it?
If I would compare it to other toasts, I would say this is just a step up the line, and it's better. It's more complex than a toast normally is. It has very good persistence.
It does.
It's
I love it.
It's a snuff that just begs for having another pinch up.
Well, let's do that then.
Oh, I just did, but I'll just have a second, third one here, because it's so good. And even though the nicotine is rated now at 7, it's not gonna...
A big bump. Oh my God.
Oh, good.
Oh, Lordy.
He's dying over there in.
No, it's okay. I'll ride the bull. It's okay.
Good.
But oh, does it burn? It stings. It owie, owie, owie.
And that is one.
I got so involved with my tobacco and snuff and so on this afternoon that I failed to watch the Vikings and Eagles game. I have no idea how it came out.
Oh no, me neither. And even though being a Vikings fan, I didn't see the game today.
Well, that's for another video. And I think we ought to wrap this up. I'm giving this a 5 out of 5 all day long, but when compared with other toasts, perhaps a 4. I like it equally with Sir Walter Scott's Lundy Foot, but for different reasons.
Oh.
I think each snuff has its own character. I think the nicotine on this is impressive, and I believe it to be higher than that yielded by the Lundy Foot.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really fabulous. Alex, thanks for giving me the opportunity to sit in this afternoon.
Thank you for joining me. You're always welcome, and your wisdom is always appreciated. Thank you, Paul. That's all for me and Uncle Squinty. If you do like the work I do here on YouTube, please subscribe. Please leave a comment, and I'll see you another day. Goodbye.